to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Thank you very much to Joey Scott for joining me today on IFL TV. Still riding high after Deontay's spectacular comeback win on the weekend.
Absolutely, man. It was remarkable. He executed everything that we practiced on, we worked on, and it was amazing. It was an amazing night.
Oh, it certainly was. As I said, spectacular fashion. He won that fight. And Joey, I just want to get a background sort of to yourself. A lot of people will be interested to hear your story. Of course, you're known for working with Deontay Wilder, but you work with many more athletes. So just give us a little bit of insight into yourself and your career.
Yes, I'm an Olympic developmental coach for track and field. I'm also a strength and conditioning coach for all sports. There's numerous talent. Call it in America, NFL. I worked with basketball players as well. Some of the likes of Morris Peterson, who played for the Toronto. I'm a guy that's became a necessity for a lot of athletes that's looking for speed, agility, and strength and conditioning and things like that. So. I never wanted to put myself in a small box where I'm just working with one particular sport or one particular athlete. So I work with a lot of athletes from all different shapes and forms and different countries and things like that. So Paris would be my fifth Olympics that I coach at. I coached in Tokyo Olympic Games. I coached in London Olympic Games as well, Rio Olympic Games. So I've been everywhere, man, as you can see. My story is I've developed a company called True Fit Athletics, who house many athletes from all different cultures, all different, sports and things like that. So, that's a little bit about me, I'm here, this is what I do for a living. I don't have a regular 9 to 5. My job is always at the Oval Office. Whether if it's a boxer that I'm coaching at the track, whether if it's a track and field runner that I'm coaching, whether if it's a baseball player that needs to get fast, whether if it's a soccer player that needs good agility, that's what I do. That's what I do all day.
That's good to hear. Obviously, a notable name that you work with, of course, is the fastest man on the planet, Fred Curley.
Absolutely. I do work with Fred Curley on his strength and conditioning as well. So, we've had an outstanding year. He became the fastest man on the planet. He won world championships. He has a unique story as well. He's actually a 400 runner, but he actually ran the 100 and actually won the title, being the second time that the second year that he's ever did the 100 meters. He became the fastest man in the world.
Well, talking about speed, I think this is something that gets overlooked with Deontay Wilder. Everyone knows how hard he hits, but it's the speed of his punches. I think it's fair to say in the heavyweight division, the fastest throwing hands he's got and the most powerful and devastating hands as well. How much would you say, Joey, is down to Deontay's natural ability, power, speed, explosiveness, and also down to yourself? Of course, you're his S&C coach. You've been working with Deontay for numerous years, a long time. So how much is that down to his natural ability and yourself?
Well, I can tell you this, you can't teach power. Power is what you're born with. You're born with that. Just like Atlas made a comment actually the other day, the power, like the punchers, the pure punchers, they are born. You can't teach that. But the only thing that you can do is enhance the talent that they already have. So where I come into play is teaching them, how to be in the right position, teaching him the agility, teaching him how to always be able to be in the right position where he's able to execute the natural talent that he already have. That is being a puncher. Helping him understand the way his body is supposed to move, the way his body is supposed to work. Making sure that all the hard work that he put in, he's recovering from that. Making sure that, his heart rate is right, making sure that, he's in shape first and foremost, making sure that his body is fit enough to go in there and take the punches that he needs to take or give the punches that he needs to give. So I play a big factor in that, making sure that he understands what his body is supposed to go through while he's able to land that big punch. And that's what we call that good night punch. And that's my job. He hired me to do a job. I do it well. I'm very confident in the things that I give him, making sure. So when he gets in the ring, I'm not really nervous because I know that I've done everything. I've, left no stone unturned when it comes to his body. Because like I tell people all the time, I have to be on point as a strength and conditioning coach because I don't have his career in my hand. I have his life in my hand. And it's not a guarantee that he's going to be able to leave the ring like he went in. You know what I mean? So I have to be on point, making sure that he is in shape, making sure that he's sleeping right, recovering right, making sure that he's, flexible, making sure that he is agile. And that way he's able to get in the ring and be mobile and hostile and come out with the victory.
Well, talking about his body, you got him down to around 214 pounds on the scales for this fight with Robert Helenius, and it proved effective. He threw 3 punches, I think, and got Helenius out of there. So we will talk about Tyson Fury and those fights, but of course for the second one, I believe is around 230, and then the third Fury fight around 238, which is the highest Deontay's ever come in. So just talk to me about the thinking getting him down to 214 pounds.
Well, me and Malik, we do a great job at analyzing where he was most dangerous at, right? We work as a team. We don't never point the finger at any individual on the team. It was something that we tried out. I had a job to do. They wanted more weight on him. I had a job to do the last fight. We put the weight on him because we knew Fury was going to come in, lay on him, and things like that. Try to push him back. But me and Malik always had been a big fan at him fighting at 214. In between 214 and 222, because that's where his devastating knockouts have been at. So what we did, we went back and we said, you know what? We're going to get you back to where you was at, because that's when he was at his most successful. You know what I mean? When he was knocking guys out in the early stages of his career, he was around 214, 216. So we went back to that, and we knew that that's where his speed was going to be at. Speed equals power. So I wanted to get him back down to where he was most successful at, where he had all his devastating knockouts. And that's why we chose the 214 weight to be at. And as you can see, bam, good night.
Joey, for the first Fury fight, where, of course, in the 12th round, he was milliseconds away from beating Tyson Fury in a dramatic final round. I think he was lighter than he was for Helenius. Is that correct?
Yes, he was 209.
Wow, okay. So moving forward, what do you believe Deontay's best weight is?
214. 214. Deontay, he won't say it because Deontay, he will not make excuses. He only go off of factual actual events. But in the first Fury fight, put it like this: Deontay hasn't been 100% in probably 90% of his fights. In probably 90%, he had a torn bicep in the first fight. You know what I mean? No one knew, but we didn't make excuses for it. He was healthy in this fight. The fight, the Deontay that you seen the other night, Saturday night, that was a healthy, fit Deontay. You know what I mean? And that's his happy weight. 214, 216, that's his happy weight. He's happy with it. He's able to distribute his power efficiently with it. And that's why I want to keep him at. I want to keep him in between 214 and 216. Because as you can see, that's where he's most successful with executing the game plan that we need help for him to execute.
Joe, we know the WBC have ordered him against Andy Ruiz as a final eliminator for Tyson Fury's belt. Of course, so that's next in Deontay's plans, Andy Ruiz. But I just want to talk to you about a couple of other opponents that we could see Deontay in with next year. There's been talks about this Alexander Usyk fight. Firstly, were you surprised Alexander Usyk wasn't there at the Barclays Center the other night?
You know what? I was a little surprised, but I heard he had some some other obligations that he had to do fulfilling for his country, I believe.
Okay.
Um, I really don't know the story behind why he wasn't there, but I did hear whispers that he was fulfilling something for his country, and we respect that.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, because we also heard that he's a man of his word. You know what I mean? That he's a stand up. That he's a stand up guy. So if that's the case, then we respect that by all means. You know what I mean? We didn't really linger on it that much. We wish him the best, whatever whatever he had to do. But of course that's the fight that we want next.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an intriguing matchup. How do you go about beating someone like Alexander Usyk, not a conventional heavyweight in this modern era?
Just one of the things that I'm so confident in, right, is Malik Scott is an outstanding teacher, not just a coach. Coach and teacher are two different things, right? Anyone can be called a coach. All you need is a stopwatch and a whistle. You know what I mean? Malik is a teacher. He breaks down things analytically, and whatever game plan that he suits, that he sees fit for Deontay, then I know that that's going to be the perfect game plan in beating Usyk. My game plan is to keep him at that 214, 216 range, making sure that he's at his best fitness, making sure that he's sharp, and making sure that he's efficient from point A to point B, getting out the way of punches and getting to the punch that he needs to land. So I'm going to do my job at that, making sure that that his fast twitch muscles are strengthened and conditioned the proper way, making sure that he's able to change direction when he needs to, and making sure that he's stable enough to sit on his punches, and making sure that he's able to recover and go into the fight as level-minded as possible. That way he can see clearly, and that way he can execute as best as possible. So how to be Usyk? I know Malik is going to come with a great game plan to do that, but how he's going to go into that ring, he's going to be at his top form, for me as a strength and conditioning side of it.
If you were to fight Anthony Joshua next year, would that differ slightly, your plans, or would it be, again, 214, 216 pound mark for Deontay?
Oh, yeah, I don't make it complex. I don't make it complex. All these guys have been over 40 pounds heavier than Deontay. So it'll be the same way with Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? So it'll be one of those things where I have a game plan, I stick to it. I don't veer from it for nobody, because I've been successful with it. And I don't coach off assumption. I coach off of science, and that's factual actual data that's been proven. I don't when I'm coaching Deontay, I don't guess and I don't assume anything. I go off the science behind it. And if I stick with the science, then I know that it's going to be factual actual data that's not going to be changed. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to make it complex. I'm going to make sure that I do my due diligence and train them up to par of the fight, and that's what I'm gonna live with. You know what I mean? And I believe that he's going to be very victorious and successful going into the fight, whether if it's Anthony Joshua, whether if it's Usyk, whether if it's whoever it is. He's going to be fit. He's going to be in shape to make sure that he's conquering the mountain that he has in front of him.
Joey, this talk and fight fans talk about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua has been going on for a long time. Of course, there was a long process of public negotiations that resulted in no fight. What's the feeling inside Team Wilder about whether he truly wanted that fight ever? Do you believe Anthony wants to fight Deontay?
No. I don't believe that he wants to fight him right now. I believe that Anthony has to get some confidence before he step in the ring with a guy like Deontay, because you got to understand a guy like Deontay is a warrior. When he says that he'll die for what he believes in, and you have to kill him, in order to keep him down. He really believes that. Like he's really speaking facts about how he feels. And I would ask the casual fan, and I would ask, even you guys, from past fights that you see Anthony Joshua in, do you guys really feel like Anthony Joshua is ready for the mental state of a person like Deontay Wilder being in front of him? You know what I mean? And that's the question that me personally, I would ask. Are you ready is Anthony Joshua ready to go into that darkness that Deontay is so used to going into, that he's so used to, being on his shield and standing on his 10, the guys in front of you, no matter how hard you hit him, he's not willing to go down. And if he do go down, he's not willing to stay down. Is Anthony Joshua willing to look that in the eyes? You know what I mean? Because Deontay is ready. He's ready to look death in the eyes and face it. He's ready to face all his fears when he goes into the square circle. The question is Anthony Joshua. We've seen how Anthony Joshua gets when it's that fire time, when it's time to go into that dark forest where nobody's gonna help you. Where there's no safety net. We've seen that, and we've also seen Deontay when he's on his last leg, when his back is against the wall, how he responds to it. We've seen that. Do it add up? Do it match up? So the question is Anthony Joshua ready to face that? Is he ready to go in that blood river and swim? Is he ready to do that? Deontay is ready to do that because he knows what he's chosen to do. He believes that he's on this earth to be great. And that's a hard man to face when he actually believes that he's on this world that he's on this earth to really walk as a champion. You know what I mean? So that's my question to the public. Is Anthony Joshua ready to face that? Because that's a hard thing to face. Because you can hit this man as hard as you can, and he's just going to keep coming forward. He's going to keep getting up. He's going to keep coming forward on punches. He's not going to go out there. The top of what he believes in. Is Anthony Joshua willing to do the same?
Well, the Deontay Wilder that you prepared for Robert Helenius the other night, who seems like he's enjoying training and fighting again at 214 pounds.
Absolutely.
As you said, that's his best weight. If him and Anthony Joshua stepped in the ring tomorrow night, how does that end? I know you're going to back your man, but specifically, have you got a specific prediction?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Of course, on our side, we believe that it'll be victorious. The reason why is because, it's hard for us to go against why? Even if I didn't know Deontay, even if, let's say I wasn't on the team, right? You always have to look at what you're dealing with, your audience. And what I mean by your audience, you have Anthony Joshua, you have Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, who has proven over and over again that he's the hardest puncher in the history of boxing. How can you go against that? All he have to do is be great for half a second. You know what I mean? The people that's in front of him, the competitor that's in front of him, the opponent that's in front of him have to be perfect for all 12 rounds. When Deontay faints, that's a scary thing. You understand? Malik gave a good analysis at the post conference, right? Once you get past Deontay's jab, your life is on the line. And everyone in boxing knows that. Once you get past Deontay's defense, not only Deontay becomes vulnerable to a punch, but your life is on the line. Deontay is just getting vulnerable to a punch, but your life can go out that quick, and that's what you're dealing with when you're facing a guy like Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Once you get past his defense, you cannot get comfortable. You can't say, okay, I've arrived. You actually still have to be on the edge because something can come back and hit you and turn your lights out that quick because he is the hardest puncher in boxing. So you always have to go with the odds on favoring Deontay when it comes to, I believe, any fight, because he's not just a puncher. He's the hardest hitting man in boxing, period.
So from that, you're saying he categorically knocks out Anthony Joshua?
He knocks him out. It's not going to go 12 rounds. It's not going to go 12 rounds. It's not.
Just to go back to the Tyson Fury fights, of course, two of them incredible, the first and the third one. Let's just reflect on the second one. Why do you believe that was such a dominant display from Tyson Fury, Joey?
Oh, man. It. 'Cause, 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 you know, it's on that one, man. I could say so many things that didn't work in Deontay's favor. You know what I mean? And I don't want to go deep into detail, but I can tell you this. Let me tell you this, because we usually stay off of that, you know, and just focus on what's ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
This Deontay, Fury lays down and stays down. This Deontay that we have right now stays down and he don't get back up. You know what I mean? He don't get back up. You know, the second fight, of course, it didn't go our way. I'm gonna keep it at that. But this Deontay runs away with the victory easy. I don't even see it going 5 rounds.
Wow.
If we have this Deontay.
Is that because what you've seen in Deontay, or is this something you've seen in Tyson Fury as well?
It's always going to be something that I see that I see in Deontay. You know what I mean? It's always, and the reason I say that is because I've been around Deontay for 17 years. Okay, it used to just be me and Deontay and JD's in the dressing room. You know, so I know Deontay from within backwards. He knows me. It's always going to be something that I see in him, and this Deontay right here is he's having fun. Put it like that. He's having fun understanding himself. He's having fun knowing his capabilities. And like I always say, you cannot go into any competition off emotion, right? When you go into any competitions off emotion, the trilogy with Fury, that was an emotional roller coaster, right? All fights with Fury was an emotional roller coaster. And this Deontay is executing a lot more, not off emotion, but off of execution, right? And that's why I say that this Deontay goes in the ring with Fury. Fury don't last 5 rounds. The reason why is because Deontay's not going off in there with emotions no more. He's going off in there with execution. When you go off in there with emotions, then it's easy for you to lose sight of what you're supposed to be executing, right? Because, you know, you're dealing with rage, okay? So this Deontay that's having fun, he's not fighting off emotions no more. He's fighting off of the game plan, sticking to the game plan, and he's fighting off of executing and making sure that he's efficient as much as he can be. That way he can come out with the victory. And he's having fun while he's doing it.
Do you see them as the best 2 heavyweights in the world right now, Deontay and Tyson?
Absolutely.
So there is an element of a lot of respect for Tyson Fury from your side as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect what, you know, where Fury is at, you know, in this game. You know what I mean? He's great at the tactics that he do. You know what I mean? Like, he's great at the tactics that he brings to the table. Rather if it's dirty tactics, rather if it's good tactics, whatever tactics Tyson Fury brings to the ring, he's great at it. Like, you know what I mean? He's good at, you know, positioning his opponents where the ref can't see and do different type of tactics to wear down his opposition. He's good at, you know, trying to play mind games with the opposition and getting them out of their self. You know what I mean? He's great at things like that. Like I said, whether it's bad tactics and whether it's good tactics, he's great at what he's doing. He's by far one of the best boxers, you know, boxers in the game. You know what I mean? So you can't take that away from him. And just like Deontay, he's an unorthodox fighter. He's great at what he do. Those two are the top heavyweight fighters in the game right now, and I don't see anybody beating those two.
Well, listen, Joey Scott, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. It's great to see Deontay back in good spirits with a brilliant win the other night. And next year you got Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, maybe a 4-fight Joe Joyce would be another interesting fight. Got plenty of big fights for Deontay, so we look forward to a big 2023. And hopefully we can get a word with you on IFL before Deontay's next fight. All right, Joey?
Absolutely. Hey, my pleasure, man. Blessings to you, and I appreciate you having me on.
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Take care.
All right, God bless you too. You too. Thank you.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.